Hi everybody, Cam Sweet here from the Garage Connection and Central Digger Supply, and boy do we have a video for you today. I'm here with Brad from Elk Equipment. Brad, how you doing?
Doing great.
So what we've got now, we got some exciting news for anybody that's looking for some attachments. All right, Brad put his money on the line. He ordered a bunch of stuff and it just came in. So now he's going to be offering all these different attachments for sale on either through his business, or you shoot him a message on Facebook, whatever it may be. We're going to have Brad's phone number up on the bottom. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you what he has, and then we're going to go through kind of some of the fun attachments and just really show you what they look like installed when you're using them, and maybe if you want to think about adding this to your inventory of stuff to use. So now Brad, let me ask you a question. What happens if somebody's not in the beautiful, hot, humid state of Florida? What can you do for them if somebody over in Arkansas wants one?
Oh, that's no problem. We'll ship it right to them.
There we go. How are you going to ship it? FedEx?
FedEx, or some of the smaller stuff will go U.S. mail.
There we go. FedEx or U.S. mail. So Brad can get this stuff to you. We also have some connections overseas, so that if you're looking for a part for like a QH12 or an FF12 or whatever, you shoot us a message. Maybe we can get a hold of it for you. And again, I'm going to put that number on the bottom of the screen for you. So, beyond that, we're going to just take a look around and see what we have in inventory as of today. It's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to anybody out there who is upsetting their wife and their kids by playing around on their excavator too much. So, anything else, Brad?
No, let's look at some.
All right, let's take a look at what we got. All right, so we've got a ton of different attachments for you. Obviously, we got rakes here. Now, this is going to be your standard duty rake, all right? And then if you're doing stuff that really, really is going to require a lot of force, we do have a heavy duty option for you. As you can see, one of them is using, 1/4 inch, 3/8 steel, and the other one is stepping it up to probably 5/16. We got two different ripper options. Again, the standard duty ripper and then the heavy duty ripper. We got narrow buckets. We've got rake buckets, right? If you're looking to do some excavation on the beach. We do have some, what we would consider to be the normal width buckets. They are a little bit wider. If your bucket got damaged or whatever, and you're just looking to replace it, we do have those available. We also have these fantastic, really, really wide, smooth buckets. Brad, how wide are these?
They're 40 inches.
Really, really wide, smooth buckets. Brad, how wide are these?
They're 40 inches.
40 inches wide. Look at that. We got, if anybody's interested in some three-way valves, boy, do we have some of those, huh? Look at these things. All right, we can ship these out real quick. We got some tracks over here. Anybody split their tracks and you want some extras, we got some tracks for you. Let's see what else we can find. All right, so we got some narrower buckets. Now, I wouldn't consider these to be trenching buckets. These are probably about 10 inches wide. So if you're looking to do a little bit more fine work, we do have these available. We've got quick attaches. There's those trenching buckets. Look at all these things. So if you're looking to bury some underground cable or whatever, that is what you want to purchase. We got quick attaches. There's a whole bunch of them there. My God, there's got to be 10, 11 of them there. Another thing that Brad has, which is really nice, we got some universal weld-on ears, okay? So, if you're looking to maybe make your own attachment, or if you've got a special task that you need to perform, you can buy these. They're ready to go. You weld them on. They're nice and thick steel. Let's see. We got a whole bunch of rippers back there. We got some grapples, okay? Now, these are the nice grapples. These aren't those cheap, thin, crappy sheet metal ones that you see at all the auctions, all right? This is solid steel here. Let's see what we got. We got hoses galore, fittings, all the hydraulic attachments that Brad's going to be selling. They do come with hoses and stuff like that, so they can get you ready to go. You don't have to worry about chasing down all the fittings. Let's see. Anybody break some bucket teeth? Holy moly! Look at all these. Oh my God. There's got to be, what, a couple hundred there?
Yeah.
You think? Wow. Right? So, I mean, if you're using your machine a lot and you go through some of this stuff, I mean, get them while you can. This is fantastic. Now, in here we got augers, okay? And we got the greasable pins, the the infamous hard to find greasable pins. Look at that. What do you figure, a couple hundred of those?
Yeah.
We got augers, we got big rakes, we got thumb attachments galore. So if any of you guys are looking to add a hydraulic thumb to your machine, we got them right here. Again, more heavy duty rakes, more augers. We got some hydraulic tilt buckets. We're going to show you how these work. And these go on. This is a pretty neat attachment. Again, does come with the hoses ready to go. And then way over yonder, we've got the large auger attachments. So if anybody's interested in a couple different size augers, we can definitely take care of you there.
Man.
You got a lot of stuff here, man. A lot of stuff here. You're gonna make a lot of people happy. I like the orange too. It matches my my H15. All right, so to install this this grapple properly, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to remove the thumb, and we're going to have to remove the factory bucket that comes on the machine. You're going to grab a wrench that fits the bolt. It could be a standard, it could be a metric one, whatever one works. And you're going to go ahead and take off these nuts and take off all the pins for the bucket and the thumb. So you want to take your new grapple and you want to position it in such a way that you can get at least one or two of the pins to go in, and then you can kind of swivel it up to get it back inside of the you know, where it attaches to the machine. Also keep in mind, this is extremely heavy, so the last thing you want to do is keep the arm a couple of feet off the ground and then try to wrestle this in there, because you will definitely drop it. This is a very heavy duty attachment. What we're going to do now, we're just going to demo quickly what this grapple is capable of, above and beyond the normal mechanical thumb that comes with the machine, right? Because you can move some stuff with that, but when it comes to moving logs or things that are cylindrical, that mechanical thumb or even a hydraulic thumb really does fall short. So we'll fire this thing up and we'll move around these fire pit logs, and you can see these are a good sized log. We're not moving kindling here. All right, so for the purposes of the rest of this video, we're going to attach one of these quick attaches, and we're going to use this to mount all the additional attachments because that grapple is really the only one that ties into the thumb mount. So we're going to go through the installation of this quick attach right now. So what we're going to do, the end that has the bolt head on it, that's going to be facing out, and then obviously the side with the nut is going to be in towards the machine. So we're going to take these pins. Now these pins don't have a shoulder on them. Okay, they can slide right through. They do have a grease fitting on one end, and obviously the end with the hole in it is going to line up with our locking holes. All right, so we are simply going to take these pins and start them. You're probably going to need your mallet to do this. We're just going to get them started because the paint is real. All right, so the next step, once you've grabbed an effective hammer, is we're going to go ahead and put the locking bolts through. Not that these pins are ever going to fall out ever, but we're going to put the locking bolts through just in case. We're going to go ahead and get everything tightened down, and then we'll switch to really whatever attachment we want because it's a quick attach. So for those of you that may not be familiar with what the quick attach actually does, essentially what you have is you have a fixed jaw and you have a movable jaw. So what you're going to end up doing is you take a wrench or an impact or whatever you want to do, and as you tighten or loosen this bolt, it's going to move this jaw. So instead of taking pins in and out, all you end up doing is basically putting the pins in the slots, and then you just expand that, and it allows you to quickly change attachments, hence the quick attach name. It's getting tight now. All right, so to attach the forks to really any of these imported machines, the process is pretty simple. You've got a notch here on the bottom, and then obviously you got your locating plate up on top. So what you want to do is you want to hang your fork off the center. That's going to allow the bottom to slip into this notch, and then you can move your fork side to side. All right, so we've slipped it into the notch, and now you can just bring them over, lock them down, bring them over, lock them down. Good to go. You're ready to pick up your full pallet of concrete. All right, so we got everything hooked up here. We're going to just do a quick demo with the pallet forks. Now, keep in mind, right, these machines don't weigh a lot. So if you're looking to do this with your machine, it has to be for light duty applications only. Don't think you're going to lift up pallets of concrete or pavers or any of that stuff, okay? We're just going to do a demo with an empty pallet just so you can see how it works. That's good enough. All right, so we got the auger started on here. The reason why we're taking a little bit of time on the auger is because there's a few more steps that are involved. The first one is obviously mounting it. With these quick attachers and stuff like that, it does make it tremendously easier to do this. But you do want to have a second person when you're using something this heavy. because unfortunately you got to line up the bottom pin first, and then it will slip onto the top. So what we're going to do, we're going to get the quick attach all tightened up here, and then because we're using an auger, it's going to require us to attach some hydraulic hoses. So this is where, at least at this point in time, you're probably wishing you bought quick connects for your hydraulic hoses, because other than that, you're going to have to mess around with the adapters and trying to figure out if you got the right size hoses for your machine, or you can just plug into the quick connects like we have, and it'll take you about 10 seconds. All right, now when you purchase a auger from my friend Brad here, what's going to come with it is 2 adapters. Okay, these adapters are going to thread into the hoses that are also provided, and what they're going to do is thread into these 2 ports on your auger. So all you need to do to hook this up is take off these plastic caps and ensure that little gasket comes with it. You take that off too. And then you want to thread in these straight adapters, and that's going to allow you to connect your hoses. We'll put a wrench on these, get these all snugged up before we go any further. Now keep in mind, there's probably going to be a little bit of hydraulic fluid inside of the motor when you take these caps off, and that's perfectly okay. They are shipped wet so that they don't seize up. All right, so once you get everything snugged up down the bottom, what we're going to do, because we have chosen to put the quick attachments on this machine, all we need to do is pull off the dust caps and go ahead and insert the hoses into our aux hydraulic lines. And that's it. That simple. Hook up the other hose. Done. Now, a lot of people are curious if a machine this size will effectively run an auger. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you what kind of a speed you expect with it just in open air like this. All right, so we're going to have Brad ease in the auger into the ground there, and we'll show you exactly what this looks like on one of these machines. You can give it a little more revs, Brad. Give it a little more throttle. Now you want to let the auger do the work here. That's the key. You back up a little bit. Keep going. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, go ahead, drill another one. I got a goat whispering sweet nothings to me. All right. So as you can see, this attachment is really, everybody seems to gravitate towards one of these augers because of really it's very dynamic. It's exciting, right? You got an auger on there, the thing's spinning, it looks cool. I will tell you that one of these attachments, whatever you pay for one, it is absolutely worth it, 100%. You will never pick up a post hole digger ever again in your entire life after you buy one of these things. Now I'm going to give it a shot. You're going to sell a lot of these. That's impressive.
Like that, like that's cool. So you could literally, if you're building a deck or something, you could just drop the 4x4 in there with a bag of concrete. And
you could start your own fence company with one of these things. All right, so we're taking a look at some of the options that Brad has here. So we've got all these different auger attachments. We do have some additional auger blades over there. There's a bunch of them inside of the container here, but what I want to point out is the two different options that you're going to be able to choose from. So you've got this one here. This is the heavy duty option, and as you can see, comparative to the standard duty one, the square drive is a little bit bigger, okay, and the blade itself, or the auger itself, is a little bit finer on the actual scroll of the auger. This is a little more coarse. This one's a little finer. So either option is completely okay. Brad's going to be selling both of them until he runs out of stock. So that's just kind of a personal decision. You know, if you live in an area where there's a lot of sand and clay, you will be completely fine with a standard duty one. If you're from New England like I am and you got rocks and roots and all that good stuff, you may want to consider a heavy duty option. All right, so what we've done now, we switched out our auger attachment to the tilt bucket. Now this tilting bucket is one of the more popular attachments, or it's definitely asked about quite a lot. This is excellent for doing off-camber things, drainage ditches, you know, culverts, swales, whatever you want to get into. When you're using this attachment, obviously you cannot be running the same hydraulic lines. If you had a hydraulic thumb attachment, you have to disconnect those and hook these into the auxiliaries. So what we're going to do, we're going to demo how this works. That way you can see exactly, you know, what you can expect if you choose to purchase this attachment. Now, one product that Brad's going to be offering, if anybody's interested, is these mini excavator covers here. So this is similar to the digger lid that was kind of going around for a while. What we have here is basically it's kind of like two covers in one. You've got this inner cover, obviously it's got clear, so you can use this in the rain in a pinch, or if you just want your machine to, you know, stay a little bit protected. And then for storage application, all you're going to do is unbuckle the two buckles here, and it's going to roll right down. And now you can use this for long-term storage for your machine. As you can see, it's elevated in the back, so that way you can actually run the machine without the exhaust putting a hole inside of the brand new cover. And then the front, the window goes all the way down, so you can see what you're doing. Right, so if you're interested in something like this, give Brad a shout, let him know, because I got a feeling that these are going to sell really, really fast, especially to you guys up north. Right? Imagine pushing snow with one of these things on there. You won't have to worry about wearing a winter coat. Now, the other thing that Brad's going to be offering, which is really nice, is a truly universal hydraulic thumb kit for these machines. What I mean by universal is, I mean it's sort of a trim to fit application. The beauty of this kit is it's very universal, and the way you install it is essentially you're going to get a measurement of your specific machine's mount. So this one, and this happens to be obviously an H15, is going to be roughly 90 mil, barring any paint or anything like that. So 90 mil, and now these are all shipped with the same exact clearance in them. So from the factory, these come about 2.5 inches. So all you need to do is trim off each side of this enough to open it up to the specific measurement on your machine. So if we take that to mils, we're looking at about 62 mils right now. We got to get to 90. So what I'm going to do is take off about 15 on either side, and that's going to give me more than enough clearance to place the thumb mount on this lower mount in your machine. So now what you're going to do, once you got it clearanced out, and again, this is not a critical dimension, so if the cuts are not perfect, it's completely okay. I ended up doing this with a Sawzall. You're going to go ahead and drive your pin in. Make sure it lines up. There we go. And then what you want to do is you want to put in your locking bolt, all right, to hold this pin in. So we're going to go ahead and do that in a little bit. And then we're going to move on to mounting the cylinder. Now this is where the beauty of this kit really comes in. So this mount up here is fairly standard across all the different models of machines. The only thing that seems to be different is the fact that this one is not drilled on either side for the locking bolts for these pins. Okay, now I've noticed this with the FF style machines. My H12 was drilled, the FF12 wasn't, and this H15 is not. However, that is a very easy thing to get around, because once you install the upper mount, you're just going to mark where your holes are and drill and tap them for the M8 locking bolts that come with this kit. One of the last things you're going to need to do before you put the kit on your machine is to just kind of clean up the mating surface of the ram to the top mount on the bracket that goes on your machine. Just due to some discrepancies in the widths of the manufacturing when they welded everything, you're going to most likely need to just clearance the sides a little bit, just to ensure a rather snug but not too tight fit. And then once that fit is nice and snug, then you're going to go ahead and install the bolt that holds the ram to the bracket. Right there. We'll install that. We'll run this down. This is the conclusion of the thumb install. So we got the cylinder plumbed in. using the quick connect lines here. That these lines are coming with all the thumb kits. And that's it right there. Nice and simple, nice and easy. All right, so I really hope this video helps you out in making some decisions about maybe what you want to purchase to add on to your machines. Yeah, as we know, right, you go on Proxybid or Bidadoo or eBay or whatever, and it's tough to really visualize what you're getting. The size of it, is it going to be a piece of junk, or is it really, really worth having these attachments? So that's why we wanted to demo some of these, to just show you that, yes, it is worth it to put on your machine. It really, really is going to save you a lot of time and money. So hopefully this helps you out. Brad, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. No, yeah, and what's that phone number again? Just to make sure everybody get a hold of you.
It's 352-428-5077.
Easy enough. Give him a shout. He'll get the stuff out to you quickly, and hopefully this helps you out. Cam and Brad here from the Garage Connection. Please stay on those projects.